Hi, I'm Nick, and thank you for watching V5 Motorsports. Today we're going to be installing lower control arm A-arm guards that fit on a Can Am Renegade and also on an Outlander. This is part of a whole series that we're going to be introducing between rear diff covers to protectors to plates and everything else. So this is all factory Can Am components we are going to install. So I already did the liberty of installing the plastic guard here. In the kit comes the lower control arm A-arm guard. Also comes with this plastic piece that's going to go over, and it's actually labeled with a letter in the back of it here, so you know left-handed, right-hand side. It's going to come with 2 rivets that we already installed. It's going to come with these bolts here, lock washers. And one thing that you do want to do is when you remove the old one, which I'll show you in a little bit, you probably just want to steal the washers off of those to use on here. That will actually help give you a little bit more surface area in placing on the control arm. You're going to need a T30 Torx. You're also going to need a 10mm wrench. You need a rivet gun to install the rivets. Now use this rivet gun on it. I've had this rivet gun for probably a good 15, 20 years. Great rivet gun. The issue with it though is that the rivets they put on here for the control arms and also for the real trailing arms are some serious rivets. This thing, if you could be able to squeeze it hard enough on the largest setting here in order to do it, it's going to be really tough. But mine, I actually had to use a pair of slip joint pliers, grab hold of here, and aid and assist with pushing it down. Needed 2 people to actually install those. I show where they go. I show where you can find the lettering on the back, but I don't show installation of that component because I probably never sweared so much before in my life trying to install a little piece of plastic on here. So just want to give you that little nugget of information. All right, so let's put some work in. Okay, first thing you want to do is remove the 2 bolts that hold the old one in place. So this is the washer that we want to reuse and use on the new control arm bolt that we're going to use on it. Once those are out, grab a hold of the front here and pry it right off the control arm. That's done. We're going to get the new hardware. We're going to install the hardware. We're going to start with the rear bolts first. Get those on the control arm. And then we'll go with the front one, which is going to go directly behind the ball joint. There's actually a hole in there that's not in the first original one. So we're actually going to put a nut and bolt on the front portion here. We're going to install now the control arm guard. And we're going to swap over the washer that was on the old one, place that on the new bolt. We're going to grab the new nylock bolt and place that on the top. And this is the front bolt that's going to go on the control arm. Going to feed it to the underneath. Bring it up to the hole in the control arm. And place the nut on there. Okay. We have everything in place. At this point in time, what I recommend doing is that tighten up the rear bolts. Once you have the rear bolts tightened up, they sit on little brackets that go on the control arm. So they are maneuverable compared to what the front bolt is. So you have more likelihood of breaking the rear ones if you do it the other way first. So I'd recommend tighten up the rear ones, then tighten up the front ones, and it should sit in place. All right? Now that you have the rear tightened up and you've tightened up the front bolts, next thing, make sure that you go full lock with the steering. So you don't want these guards, for any reason, to push up against the CV boot and cut into the CV boot. So we may have to modify these. So Jody, if you want to go ahead and crank the steering wheel back and forth here, the handlebars back and forth. See, it actually starts hitting against the CV. So at full lock on the right-hand turn, it does tap against there. So what we're gonna need to do is actually push this out. If we push this out, we're trying to keep this away from here. So we're gonna get a pry bar here and we're actually gonna wedge against there to try to see if we can move it away a little. So I needed to modify that to make it fit better. Issue being with that is that going down a trail, something hits it, it is gonna push it back towards the CV axle boot. So be aware of that. And once doing that and had to pry it out so it fits better, I actually went back with a dead blow hammer and hit these back in order to make it so it looks more symmetrical on the machine, considering currently it's up in the air. All right, taking a look at the reason why these actually were my decision was that the Can Am parts are normally fit and finish on there is absolutely perfect. And they're gonna fit at all the bolt holes, everything lines up. But you can see that the armor on there looks beautiful. Would I go with the Ricochet or would I go with the Can Am ones again? I would definitely go with the Can Am ones again, understanding the limitation of something that's mass produced and you actually need to do a little modification on it. But I think that it looks absolutely beautiful on there. Thank you for watching V5 Motorsports. Please like and subscribe to see future videos. We're going to be having upgrades to the Renegade that will also fit on the Outlander. Really appreciate all you people that do subscribe and watch our channel. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the future.